Thank you, Madam Chair. I welcome our guests. I just want to highlight 2 points before questions. First, let me commend you, Madam Chair, and the Senator from New Hampshire, Kelly Ayotte, on your great work with respect to the sexual assault issue. This has gone on and on. This scourge has been debated for, it seems like, longer running debate than the Trojan War. I very much support your leadership in this regard to get this rooted out finally. Point number 2, Senator Murray has stressed how important it is to have a bipartisan conference on the budget. This is a view that I very much share, and what is striking is outside the Senate, security and economic thinkers, our leading thinkers of both political parties, say this is exactly the time for a long-term strategy. That is what a budget conference would provide us the ability to do, is to look at the 10-year window to tackle these issues. Senator Sessions makes the point with respect to health costs. Senator, I'm laying out a Medicare reform proposal tomorrow. Other colleagues have as well. We should have the kind of bipartisan conference on the budget that Senator Murray talks about. I see Senator Portman and others are making the case of how important it is we tackle these issues in the long term, and I commend them. Let me ask you, General Dempsey, and Secretary Hagel, we enjoyed working together on the Intelligence Committee. The first question about the contractors. And what is striking is the inability to really hone in on the numbers so that we can get a sense of how to tackle this issue. Comptroller Hale, last February, you estimated that in terms of contractors, your calculation was that we had about 300,000. According to a GAO analysis that was published last month, there were over 710,000 full-time contractors working for the department. So let's start with you, General Dempsey, on this point. How do you explain the discrepancy in the numbers, and how are you and your colleagues going to get us the accurate figures so we can get on top of this issue?
Well, actually, when you get eventually over to Mr. Hale, I think we have accurate numbers. I don't know how we got...
Well, no, we have right now...
I think your 700,000 number is accurate.
So what Comptroller Hale said last February when he estimated, when he said it was 300,000, that was not accurate.
Well, he's right there.
Okay. Let's get him in.
There are different definitions, Senator Wyden. I was referring to the contractors where we have better data that are funded through what's called operation and maintenance. The best numbers we have for all our service contractors, about 700,000. The number is we gave that to GAO. Let me just say, it's not as easy.
Well, on that point, then get me in writing the difference between the types of contractors.
I will do that. It's not as easy as it sounds. When you do a fixed price contract, the contractor has no obligation to tell you how many people have to be doing the job. They just do it, and if they do it right, they get paid. So we are actually going and modifying all our contracts at some cost to the government, I might add, and requiring they provide that data. So you will have more accurate information, but at some cost. Meanwhile, we're doing the best estimates we can, and I think 700,000 is close for service contractors. Now, there are people working on weapons that would add to that number.
In writing the difference between the various contractors. Let me ask one other question of you, General Dempsey. On the C-23 Sherpa aircraft, these are the big planes, the big cargo planes used in Sandy for delivering individuals, cargo. The message from the Congress has been, don't get rid of them, don't divest them. The Army's response has been to order the Sherpas flown to Oklahoma to be boxed up, and then, I guess, they're going to be divested. It's almost like the Army is saying, if you won't let us divest them, we won't let the Guard fly them. Now, we've got a lot of us here in the Congress, again, both political parties, who strongly support the role of the Guard. And these planes that were used in Hurricane Sandy in our state, and we're looking in the West particularly at horrendous fires this upcoming summer, this would be a chance to help the Guard's critical domestic missions. I don't know how we're going to help those critical domestic missions by parking the planes in a hangar. So what's your take on this, and what ought to be done?
Well, Senator, it's C-27, and this has been the subject of a great deal of analysis in terms of its cost, operating cost, and its utility. And the Army-Air Force cooperation was actually quite encouraging in the sense that the gap, if you will, as you've described it, with the retirement of, or the divestiture of the C-27 can be covered by the C-130. Now, you know, there's some who disagree with that analysis, but if it hasn't been laid out for you, we can certainly lay it out.
That may well be. Let me wrap up with this, Madam Chair. Why are they in the hangars? I mean, here we have what all sides have said is a significant number of aircraft. They're in the hangars. We want the Guard, whose work we support and admire, to have the tools. Why are they sitting in the hangars?
Well, the Guard will have the tools, sir, but
still the question is, why are they in the hangar?
Well, because it costs money to operate them. They're not operated for free. And so,
About as good a value as we can get in this country. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you very much. General Dempsey, our Guard says it is, in fact, the C-23s that are in the hangars now, and they have been ordered to move C-23s there. So that is still the question. And if you could get back to me, I'd appreciate it. Thank you, Madam Chair.